good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay Walk back with another reaction video. And as you can see, man, we got one LeBron fan versus 10 LeBron haters, bro. And I don't know how I never seen this vid, but we're gonna debunk this right now, alright? Alright. I don't wanna hear nothing crazy.
I'm actually a bigger Jimmy Butler hater than a freaking LeBron. That's a
I'm gonna skip this intro because we already got a damn hour long vid. I'm not sure I'll even make it through this whole. I may not even make it through this whole vid just because of the simple fact that there might be some absolute blasphemy being said, and if these niggas are just wilding with these takes, bro, I'm not letting them rot my brain. All right.
I believe all of it. Show him some respect. Somebody is going to break LeBron's all-time.
Nobody will ever touch LeBron's record. First of all, I'm going to be answering all these questions. Nobody will ever break LeBron's record just off the simple fact that niggas are not going to play until they're 40, bro. This nigga is still playing, and he's still averaging 25 or like 24 points per game. Bro, nobody is going to have that longevity ever again, bro. To be able to score 25 points per game at 40? Crazy as hell.
We thought about Kareem, and then guess what? Somebody broke it. Every single year, the NBA
it won't happen.
More efficient. It's getting easier.
It won't happen.
To score, teams are getting smarter.
But think about the two. There's been two players who've been able to last that long and score at that rate for that long, bro.
People are going to come through. There's some middle school.
If LeBron plays 3 more years, 2 or 3 more years, nobody will ever touch this shit. You're crazy.
It's gonna happen, but it probably will.
Yeah. And again, if the argument is for the entirety of space and time, something is more likely to happen than never, sure, that's not really refutable. But if we're being practical and we're talking about what you can actually
not in my lifetime,
something you see and you predict,
not in our lifetime.
No reason to think that other than hope. We can say that 3 is more than 2, and the game has made this much of a change in the last 20 years. Maybe it'll make that same change 20 more years. It's not really linear. There's only so much pushing of the envelope you can do. And while we've seen that huge envelope push happen in our time, that's not a guarantee that we're going to see another one. There's only so much space on the court, so much more math you can exploit. So I think maybe we're close to peak efficiency. If we're not, it keeps going up, fine. But you still have to reckon with the fact that somebody has to come in the league, be amazing right away, and be amazing for like 25 years.
Exactly, bro. You have to start your career good and end your career. Like, come on, man.
Because it's honestly, he's hilariously lucky to never have torn an ACL in 25 years. Do you expect the next great star?
That's what I'm saying, bro. He's never missed like a full season. I think he's played at least like 50 games probably in every season.
But you better hope the next GOAT cheats too then, because I don't see any reason why that's going to happen or any reason to expect that.
Listen, you want to talk about that, the way that the game is being played, that's getting better, that's being more efficient. You want to talk about medicine, that's getting better, that's more efficient. Everything is being set up for players. Everything is being set up for players to come in bigger, better, faster, stronger.
Bro, but that doesn't mean that niggas are going to play until they're 40 years old. Just because the medicine and the treatments are getting better, your body is not made. Our bodies are not made to play at a high level. Like, for you to play that intense and at a high level for that long, bro. Like, you're supposed to settle down as life goes on. Yes, you can. The medicine and the treatments, they can protect the player in their younger stages of their career, like 20s, early 20s, like mid 20s, bro. Yeah, like 30, like early 30s, you can prevent injuries. But it's not, bro. It's not to help you play at 40 though.
Eventually, we're gonna get to 2055, and there's gonna be some crazy kid, and he's gonna come along and be the next GOAT. He's gonna break LeBron's record.
If the record's broken in 2099, when we're all long gone, then you got it. You can have it.
I'm a win.
Cause like Wemby is supposed to be the next quote unquote LeBron, like prospect since LeBron, but he's not gonna be at 40 getting buckets. Like, come on, man.
We have players now like Luka who score like 30 points a night consistently.
Oh yeah, so it's 1 fan versus 10 haters, right. I thought for some reason I'm thinking it's 1 hater versus 10
so in
fans.
what world would I not think someone who's taking more 3-pointers, scores 30 points a game at the age of 19, is not going to pass LeBron's scoring record? It sounds kind of ridiculous.
Okay,
well, I feel like this is a broken record talking about that. Like, come on, man, let's be for real. I don't think anyone's touching the record.
Mr. Deshaun.
He raised his hand fast.
So they're saying if LeBron came first, there wouldn't be an argument.
We've already seen Jordan surpass the GOAT before him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem since high school was ready to be the greatest player, just like we
Oh
said.
yeah, since I'm answering all these questions, if LeBron came first, there wouldn't be an argument. I don't know necessarily like that's true. I feel like the argument is there regardless, but my thing is just like I feel like you have to be fair like through and through. Like you can't just use rings as an excuse. I feel like that's the first thing they go to. Like rings, if rings are the deciding factor of a GOAT, I'm just saying like MJ doesn't even have the most rings, so it's like what are we really talking about, bro? Like what are we really saying? Like it's different eras, different styles of basketball. Like you can't really, that's not really comparable, bro. Like we can't really do that.
LeBron James.
Like
Kareem
that's
in his
not really a
career,
fair
6
argument.
NBA Finals, right, where he won.
If
Okay, and he
LeBron
made
came
10
first though,
appearances just like LeBron,
I don't know.
except he happened to win more
I
than
feel like
LeBron.
the
Kareem,
old heads
all-time
maybe
scoring
would
leader,
treat
just
Bron
like
just
LeBron,
like they would
correct?
treat Andre,
He
so it
also
really
is
wouldn't
top
matter.
10 in rebounds and might be up there in block shots as well. So we've already seen an all-around player with an unstoppable move and the persona bravado as I'm the greatest. And what did Jordan do? Surpassed him, right? He went 6-0. That's 100% in the finals. He also had
Okay,
the
but he
MVP
lost. I hate this argument because, bro, he lost. He lost in the playoffs before. Stop acting like Jordan just only like he played 6 seasons and he won 6 finals. My nigga, stop. Stop doing that. Like y'all always, you MJ fans and you LeBron haters act like MJ just went 6-0 and like he just played 6 seasons and that was it. And the other seasons like just didn't count. Like this nigga just came into the league, played 6 years, and won 6 championships, and just retired and played baseball. Like, bro, he lost in the playoffs. He lost in the first round before. Like, what are we talking about?
and
What are
6
we
finals
really
in a
saying,
game,
bro?
which is something that Kareem did not do. So we have already
Like,
seen
come
this
on, bro.
iteration of Jordan following up someone who is deemed as the greatest. So if you reverse the roles, there's still no debate. Jordan tops LeBron every time.
I appreciate your love for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And I think that one's like not
Unfortunately,
that
is
crazy of an
entirely
argument.
irrelevant. This is not a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus
Yeah,
LeBron James
I don't know why we're
conversation.
talking about
It's Michael
Kareem.
Jordan versus LeBron James. If any of that mattered, you would have Kareem at 2 and LeBron at 3.
Exactly.
I have LeBron at 4.
All right, so clearly answer.
First of all, you just get the fuck up off the stand. You have LeBron at 4. If LeBron is not at least top 3 for you, you don't know ball, my nigga. You're just biased and you're a hater. If LeBron is not at least top 3, you're dick rotten. Like, because like, what are we saying? If you have MJ at 1, I can respect that as long as you're not gonna hate on LeBron. I feel like LeBron should be the consistent GOAT, but that's just my opinion. I'm not an MJ hater. I don't have to tear somebody down to bring up LeBron. He already does the work for himself. You know what I'm saying? My glorious king does the work for himself. But if you don't have at least, if MJ and Bron are not like, MJ and Bron should be neck and neck, but if LeBron is not at least top 3, you don't know ball. You shouldn't be talking basketball at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I can respect maybe you have Kareem in there, maybe you got Kobe. You know what I'm saying? I can respect Kobe over Bron, maybe. You know? Like I can respect it. Do I agree with it? No. But you know, that's your opinion. But to have Bron at 4, that's just you being a hater.
LeBron James. So
Like-
that makes sense to me. That makes total sense now why you would bring that up. Unfortunately, I live in reality, and I do not believe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a very
No
good
cap,
player.
we're living on a real
Obviously,
planet, me and this
defense.
guy.
If you're simply looking at it that all Jordan had to do to pass up and be the GOAT is check boxes on paper. And that makes total sense. As a Jordan fan, you see number 6, number 0, he's the GOAT. LeBron, the argument for him has nothing to do with whatever Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did. He's a better player. That
Exactly.
He's, the typical things, bigger, faster, stronger. But he's a better passer. Scoring, let's call it equal. If you want to give it to Jordan by edge because of whatever reasons you have, sure. LeBron's
Yeah.
a better interior scorer. If you want to give Jordan jump shooting, go ahead.
No, LeBron, no. Fuck that. LeBron is a better shooter than Jordan, bro. He's a better shooter. He is a better 3-point shooter than Jordan.
Close enough. The
And that's a
passing is the
fact.
difference.
I give MJ the
LeBron's
mid-range,
versatile
but
defensively. He's
all
obviously
around,
the higher
Bron
ranked
is a
player.
better shooter,
There's
bro.
people up around him better, the better playmaker in that way. If you believe that he is truly the better player all around, which, many LeBron fans do, obviously you don't, that would be enough that if he came first, you wouldn't see Jordan pass him up. So much of why Jordan is revered as his unquestioned GOAT is nostalgia, is he came first, is he was the first guard to come in and be a guy that showed
Exactly.
him,
It's
when
the
time
old
was
heads that can't give it up, bro.
player, and previously was all big
They
men, like
can't
you
give
said.
it up,
If LeBron
can't
had
clap
done
it up for
first,
Bron.
That talking point would be irrelevant. He would be great, obviously, he'd be in the conversation, but none of that nostalgia would be attached to him, and he wouldn't have this reverence about him. He wouldn't be the same outside the court figure because we would have already had LeBron to deify in that way. So all of that type of bigger than basketball stuff that's attached to Jordan's name would be gone. there'd be very little argument, especially if LeBron presumably dominated that generation in the same way Jordan did, which I don't have any doubt he would. Do you?
Yeah, I do, and I think you made a couple of points that aren't based in fact and more. Based
What
in
did he
opinion.
just say? You just say that you doubt.
Presumably dominated that generation in the same way Jordan did, which I don't.
So he's saying that LeBron wouldn't
Yeah, I do.
dominate
You made a couple of points that
in
aren't
that
based
era. Are
fact
you
and more based in
crazy?
opinion.
Bro, he
So-
probably would have averaged like
No, there are
35,
stats,
bro.
Some of which that I've named, right? You talked about being a more versatile defender. The Defensive Player of the Year awards don't say that.
You want to talk about the?
Well,
Oh my gosh, bro. I feel like it's clear that Bron is the more versatile defender though. Like, come on, bro. Bron can guard 1 through 5. Like, 5 might be a little bit of a stretch sometimes depending on who's down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's somebody like Shaq, like, you know what I'm saying? All right, like Jokic, like, come on. I mean, Jokic is 7 foot, like 7 foot 280, bro. You know what I'm saying? But LeBron can guard almost every position. He can take away your best player regardless of who it is. If they wanted Bron, the reason why they don't have Bron a lot of times guard, like, he's not going to guard a Steph Curry or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He has to stay out of foul trouble. He's the best player on the team. You know what I'm saying? But he can guard any position virtually. And you could say Michael Jordan is smaller, so maybe he can't guard. Like, that doesn't matter. LeBron, if we're arguing most versatile defender, LeBron can guard every position, bro. He can guard on ball. He's a great perimeter defender. Well, he's later in his career now, so you know what I'm saying? He's not as good. He wasn't always the greatest perimeter defender. I won't act like he was, but he definitely is good at keeping the ball in front. You know what I'm saying? Getting takeaways, stealing the ball. And obviously rim protection, he's way better, far more elite than Jordan at protecting the rim and protecting the paint. So that's not even a question. So it's really just an argument of
So that
who
goes in favor of Jordan. You said we can call
is
scoring
better at the
equal.
perimeter. Like,
Michael Jordan once averaged 37 points per game. Has LeBron ever done that? No.
Are we gonna go off of the best scorers?
okay, but he could if he wanted to, though. LeBron is just that playmaker. He does everything, bro. He shares the ball. He does a lot of different things, bro. If he really wanted to be that man and just scored up, you don't think he could have averaged 35, 36 in Cleveland, bro? If he really wanted to? He's got to keep, you know what I'm saying? He keeps his teammates involved, bro. He does it all. Like, come on, bro. And the nigga averaged like 40 in the finals. Like,
Well, you gave me
you finished the argument.
you gave me a pause to respond.
Your argument was also no. That was just the little pregnant.
Okay, being
pause.
dramatic. Go ahead. My bad.
Yes.
Okay, I
Now,
respect it.
LeBron's stats are more based in longevity.
This guy's a
If you're talking
bozo,
about who's the
yo.
greatest scorer, we're looking at points per game. We're looking at playoff performances. We're looking at regular season performances. You can't call that a wash, right? You can't call the defensive stats a wash either. And then you talked about uplifting.
bro,
players
weren't they
from-
rigging stats for this nigga Jordan, bro? Were they not? Weren't they rigging stats for this nigga? Like, this nigga whole, like, defensive stats should be irrelevant, bro. Like, they're talking about they rigged this nigga steals, bro. Like, they said the nigga had 10 steals or some shit and he only had like 2. Like, you niggas is cheating, bro, that bad?
Is that really true?
Like,
I
come
don't
on,
think
man.
So. Who did Jordan take to the finals? Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley, Ron Harper, a bunch of players.
LeBron
that
did
after
the
they
same
left him, were not
thing.
able to accomplish the same
LeBron
thing.
did the
When
same
LeBron James
thing.
gets a player, they get worse. Remember that guy Kevin Love? What was he doing in Minnesota? And then what happens when he joins LeBron in Cleveland? Kyrie Irving, same thing. Players don't get better. LeBron is able to dominate
What?
the game more and take them away. From the
Kyrie
starters
was
they already
just
have.
as good.
Like so
And
quiet.
Kevin Love was
They're
actually
not
pretty
making
good
them
with
grow.
Cleveland too. So
Yeah, I hear you.
you're actually,
And
what you're
everything
saying
you
right
said
now
makes
is
total sense.
irrelevant.
If you stopped thinking about basketball in like 2010, and if you were still in like points per game,
No cap.
and we didn't realize what the value of efficiency.
This dude
the
has so
value of
dry humor,
playing a
bro.
certain
He's
system that
he's such a troll.
gets touches to other people, not simply funneling into one person. Points per game hasn't been the metric for who makes simply the better scorer in like 15 years of discourse. We are so
Yeah,
far past
like,
that.
what are we talking about?
If you view points per game as the end all be all, great. Then he's gonna be your GOAT regardless. But if you understand the value of efficiency, the value of getting a certain type of bucket that creates shots for others, and value of making the right play and not simply chasing a high points per game value, it's easy to understand why
Exactly,
LeBron is
bro.
equally as good of a scorer.
If LeBron wanted to
In his
jack,
prime, he shot nearly 80% at the rim.
like, come on,
which is
man.
ridiculous. We don't have the tracking numbers for Jordan back then. It would have been good too. He would have been 68, 70, obviously. Part of that is era. He would have been lower because less spacing. So we could acknowledge that. He wouldn't have been a goddamn 80. I'll tell you that. He would have been a freight
Oh,
train in the
bullshit.
open court that LeBron
No
is.
cap.
I feel very safe saying LeBron is the best open court scorer, getting to the rim, probably of all time besides the bigs like Shaq. Is that fair?
Hold on, I'm going to have to go 24 seconds on this topic.
24 seconds, and I'll run this again. The question was, if LeBron came first, would there be an argument? I've already given you the factual data that prove we've seen a version of LeBron who was regarded as the uncontented GOAT.
He was not a bro, and that was a whole different era. But I'm just saying that though they are not the same player. That is not a version of LeBron,
I gave
bro.
you the career stats.
There's nothing they could do against Kareem, my nigga. Like, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, we had high school math teachers guarding Kareem. I mean, come on, bro.
Had more
If
career
Kareem
stats
played
than
now, he would still be good,
finals
but he's
MVP
not
and
doing that shit
finals
on
MVP.
Giannis.
Jordan
He
came
not
into
doing
the
that
league and
shit,
took that
bro.
away from Kareem. He also took it away from Bird, and he also took it away from Magic.
If LeBron James walked through those doors on his Lakers teams, he would have accomplished just as much as Kareem while being a better
Exactly.
player. It wouldn't be an argument. It's entirely irrelevant.
Especially
Focus on
back
what happened to
then,
those
bro.
guys. We're talking about a hypothetical.
He would have been blowing
situation
past
where
their
there's
ass,
no
bro.
situation.
If you're an NBA player
Dunking
to
on
win
that
each season, what is your ultimate goal?
To win a championship. I'll go ahead and give you what you want to hear.
Thank you. Well, what other goal would there be?
Keep going, keep going.
Okay, anyway. So at the start of
Proceed.
each season, you want to win a championship, right?
Yes.
And if we think about some of the greatest winners of all time, right, would you say that winning a three-peat is difficult?
Very so.
So how many times has that happened in history? Do you know?
Few.
A few times, right? So some of the greatest players in history, some of the greatest winners in
He's
history
not the only person to
have
do it
only
though.
won one championship, maybe won two in a row, maybe won a few, but they were like sporadic throughout their career. It's rare that you see a team or a player accomplish a three-peat, right? Tim Duncan, he won it, I think, like every other year. He has like 5 of them, but he never did it twice in a row.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant did it 3 times in a row, and it took him and Shaq to do it, right? He did a three-peat, right? I think those 60 Celtics with Cousy and them, they did it like 100 times in a row, whatever it was. I'm just saying, but that was a different era. My point is, in the modern era of basketball, to win 3 times in a row is damn near impossible. Nobody can do it. Those Warriors in the 2015 era to 2020, they won it a bunch of times, but they also couldn't do it 3 times in a row. LeBron James.
Bro, but like that is irrelevant because what you're arguing, bro, if Jordan played right now, that motherfucker's not winning a three-peat. There is way more superstars than there has ever been. Like there are too many good players and too many good teams for a three-peat to happen nowadays, bro. It's not gonna happen. Like all the blockbuster trades, like shit like that, like it's just not gonna happen. So like I really feel like if LeBron played during that era, he could have done something similar, bro.
My point is that a three-peat is hard to come by, and if championships is how we measure greatness in the NBA, how can we say that anyone other than the only man to do it twice in one career is any worse than anybody else to ever play the game?
Yeah.
If the ultimate goal is NBA championships, LeBron James, I'm sure, is on record.
Then that cannot be the end all. That's a basis for an argument. But championships cannot be the end all be all when he doesn't even have the most championships of all time. Like that stops that argument right there, bro. You cannot use that. Like that's not something that you could say that makes him the GOAT.
Anyone other than the only man who was able to do a three-peat, which is probably the hardest thing to do in basketball, twice. After taking
It doesn't matter. He doesn't have the most rings ever, so it really doesn't matter.
back in.
I gotta remember all the crazy shit you just said.
All facts. Like the good brother Deshaun.
First of all, all of that would be great and all that'd be dandy if the Basketball Hall of Fame was the Basketball Hall of Fame of three-peats. If that was the only thing we measured by, and if the top players of all time are only the ones who got three-peats, then we'd have no conversations. It would be there's like 3 players we're talking about in NBA history. But that's not the case. And yes, the way you measure success is winning championships as a team. That is so contextual. I understand that we treat Michael Jordan like a god who is a one-man army against the world. He's not. It's a 12-man roster, 15 back then. So much contextually needed to talk about team versus team that I think that's the general error of way we talk about basketball in general is saying we measure success via championships. That's part of it, but it's part of a larger whole to understand a player, his impact, his skills, weighing all that individually. So I don't think championships are the end-all be-all. You obviously need a requisite amount of success to show that your talent can translate in the playoffs. I don't think necessarily hitting a certain number is the only way to talk about that. And I certainly don't think three-peats is the only way that you can justify that. It's very impressive, not take it away.
Yeah.
But if three-peats were just the measure, then you would have Bill Russell at 2. I don't believe you have Bill Russell at 2.
No, because there's obviously a lot more to consider.
Exactly.
For
Exactly.
Sure,
A whole
when
lot.
it comes down to it, right? When you're looking at Jordan and LeBron, and they're like kind of neck and neck in pretty much every category except winning, which is what the ultimate goal.
They
is
are
every
neck
player
and neck,
to
though.
win. And if you took it, look,
4
I'm looking at
rings is
two
a
guys,
lot of
one
championships,
more
brother.
than the other, with pretty much the same.
And one has a
stats.
lot more
LeBron
points
played
than the
22
other.
years, Michael Jordan played 14 or 15. There's like going to be some discrepancies there, but the fact of the matter is that he played 6 years less and has more accolades, relatively the same amount of stats.
Okay, but after
I just think
35,
it's
like,
real
come
to
on,
look at two
man.
players who
Like,
are so
he's just
close.
showing
That's
off
why
that
we're having this
longevity,
debate.
man.
Why not let it come down to, at the end of the day, who was holding the trophy at the end of the season? Michael Jordan did it 6 times in 6 tries.
Yeah, you mentioned it's
24
hard.
seconds.
No, it wasn't in 6 tries, though. Like, stop doing. He didn't just play 6 seasons, though, bro. You can't do that.
You mentioned that it's hard to win in the modern NBA, make three-peats. That is true. You made it sound like the modern NBA is the same as when Michael Jordan was, like the modern NBA started in 1990. It didn't.
I think it did.
It just straight up not.
No,
in
it
such
didn't.
a different world than we were.
No,
in the
it
90s.
didn't,
Back
bro.
then there was way less player movement. It was way easier to
Stop,
make your team and
man.
keep them together. We know he had the best team. He's part of that, but he had an amazing supporting cast. The reason LeBron has to cycle through teammates, it's hard to build a good team today when you're not a homegrown, draft all your stars type of team. You can't elongated success is harder.
Well, I'm just going to say this. LeBron James, he spent most of the 80s getting his ass whooped by Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, all these guys. Had every opportunity in the world to leave Chicago and join any of those teams to make sure they had better players around him. But he stuck it out in Chicago. They developed the team. They put players around him that they can win. And then he won.
And the
6
Cavs
in a
did
row.
not do that for LeBron, or else he would have been won a ring there.
I say that to say, with LeBron at the buzzer, he's soft.
His ass was
Get the fuck
his
out
ass
of
was under
here, man.
contract. He did not have every opportunity.
He almost went to the Knicks. I do thank you for your
Get the
service.
hell out of here.
Okay, this next
Talking
topic
about niggas
is
soft.
controversial.
You crazy as hell.
LeBron James is one of the clutchest players of all time.
Fact.
We meet again.
Hello, welcome back.
They put this dude up there again. So what are like? Why? I thought all
Maybe
10
has
people are
some
gonna go.
performances, But let's bring up the biggest moments of LeBron James' career. Let's continue to talk about winning like my brother Nelson did.
For
Miami Heat, biggest shot of the series that got them to Game 7. Jesus Shuttlesworth. Game 7 against Warriors, and my guy
Okay.
Stephen Curry,
did
That's
Steve
ingrained in
Kerr
my
not
life.
hit it? Okay.
Kyrie Irving. And who passed him the ball? LeBron. Because it wasn't his moment. Whenever it's time and it really counts and it comes down to it, he's passing the ball because he shies away from the last shot.
Cap.
Please don't go to some regular season game where no one is watching. Let's talk about the biggest moments when being clutch matters.
Let's make
He
80% of
doesn't
the
have
game
the ball in
irrelevant.
his hand.
Okay.
Well, what matters the most?
Keep on, sorry, keep on.
The last shot or the ones that happened before? I placed the value on the shot that got them to win. Talk.
That's okay. So this is how I know you don't play basketball. First of all, because clutch is not all determined by can you make the game winning shot, bro. Like that's not all it's defined by, bro. There's moments that lead up to that. The whole last 5 minutes of the game when the game is neck and neck. What are you doing? Or what are you doing to help your team win? Like that also like helps define clutch. And LeBron is always making plays at the end of the game to help his team win. If you were defining clutch by how many buzzer beaters did someone make,
To me.
I don't even want
Similar
to talk
last
to
time
you.
We argued that would be real great if we stopped thinking about basketball 15 years ago. How do you get to the last shot? How do you keep these games competitive? Everything leads up to it. And real quick, did that question say one of the most clutch players or one of the most clutch last shot shooters?
Like
I would say
buzzer
this is
beater.
about being clutch at the end. That's how
Yeah.
clutch is mostly defined.
Buzzer
Nobody was
beater?
talking about it before in the
You have to
first
make a
place.
buzzer
Oh,
beater
I'm not talking
to
about
be
it.
defined as
Stat
clutch.
too. I think it's the final 5 minutes of
It
the
is.
fourth
So
quarter.
let's define
It
it by
is.
that then.
Okay, yeah, the
Alright.
clutch player.
Yeah.
What is
Exactly.
involved in offense? Passing and shooting, setting up others for good shots, and shooting the shot yourself. So I'm not going to let you pretend that playmaking is irrelevant and that setting up open shooters is not good. It is. LeBron has taken his fair share of difficult, tough shots at the end of this too. I think the stat is he's like 7 for 12 on these last second shots in playoffs, which, cool, he can do that too. If you want to say other guys did it more often than him or in flashier ways that you remember more because it was in a big game on national TV and what you were watching, great. I, for one, have the privilege of having the internet. And I know that not everything that I didn't see some of it still happened, even though I didn't see it. And he has good clutch numbers, so I won't pretend that's not the case. But also the harping on the fact that he passes the ball to people as if it's a negative is ridiculous. The smartest players know the smartest shots aren't always contested step back shots because you want to be.
Yeah,
the
bro.
one.
Everybody don't have to
If
be
you go
Kobe,
40%
bro.
corner three-point shooter,
Kobe
you
was
can
just
get the
different,
ball.
bro. He gonna take that shot.
Maybe he has
He gonna take that shot
Maybe
whether it's a
yeah,
good shot or not. He gonna
yeah,
put that
maybe he
motherfucker
has
up.
a lot of them. Maybe he averages 34 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists in closeout games. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but I think yes. So I'm not gonna pretend that's just a throwaway, and you could just like toss it aside and be like, what about free throws? Because the good stuff actually matters, not just the bad stuff.
So you talked about playmaking, but let's talk about those plays because you said you have the internet. Me too. So we can easily go and look at these moments.
Mhm.
He didn't pass Ray the ball. That was a tip out. So shout out to Chris Bosh.
Good for him.
LeBron was nowhere near that play. He actually missed a shot before it. Then we could go to him setting up Kyrie Irving. He didn't play make. He just gave him the ball and shied away. You remember the Olympics?
I do.
Who he gave the ball to?
Steph Curry.
And you saw what
I feel like it's just like, bro, I'm not gonna act like he hasn't made some valid points, but it just feels like he's just nitpicking, bro. Like y'all, it's just like all. First of all, being a LeBron hater is insane. Like, why do you hate Bron, bro? Why do you hate Bron? Like, come on. But second of all, like, we're not gonna act like was he not hooping in that game all the way that led up to that shot, bro? And second of all, when you're playing with Kyrie Irving, first of all, Kyrie is one of the clutchest players that I've ever seen. I want the ball in his hands at the end of the game. But Kyrie was hooping. He was literally he had dropped like multiple 40-point games, bro. Like he had dropped 40-point games. Like Kyrie is like, I won't say they were 1A, 1B, but like Kyrie was right there, bro. Like is that not okay for Kyrie to take the last shot? Like he's not also like one of the best players in the NBA at the time? Like what are we
Steph
what are we
did?
saying?
Bad.
And then
Clutch
Steph
first.
was
Steph
literally
won them the gold
the
medal. He
hottest
robbed
player
LeBron
on the
again
court.
too.
Like
Don't
he
even
was
get me
on
started
fire,
there.
bro.
So in the biggest moments
course they're
LeBron's
gonna give the ball to
career,
him.
on the international stage or on the NBA stage, it is not him making the play and it is not him making a shot. He has to rely on other people, and that's
Sure.
okay.
If you pretend his career is wrapped up into 2 plays, then you got it.
3 plays.
Oh, 3. Sorry. There we go. Especially the one that didn't happen in the NBA too. Got to count that one. The one that's not relevant.
It is a global game, and the United States needed that victory.
There we
And-
go.
Okay,
and what
bro,
would be
Bron
remarkable if
did
they
LeBron
finished
not win the
second place or
MVP
third place,
of
right?
like
If
the
they
whole
got that
Olympics,
silver medal,
bro?
that would be a bigger stain on his career than any of his other losses. So don't count out the Olympics. It only happens once every 4 years.
Okay, there you go. You can have your Olympics talk in which LeBron won. So I'm glad.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
All right, let's get factual because you can't dispute facts.
I
Right?
cannot.
She came up here with the paper. Hey, I respect that. I respect that more than just
Why can't I have
just
PTs? This is crazy.
getting
I didn't know we
shit
have notes.
I just wanted to get
talking out your ass, bro.
specific because I know like Bron-sexual is really just kind of
Yeah, bad memory. Yeah, you remind
Oh
me.
my gosh, she have a
And
fucking
so-
Jordan.
We're gonna go over LeBron's 4-6 records finals. Let's talk about him in the last 24 seconds. The actual stats.
The
of
last
those-
24 seconds
Yes.
of the game.
Oh yeah.
24.
What are we talking about, bro? So if you don't make a shot in the last 24 seconds, bro, you're no
Seconds is
longer
so
you
arbitrary.
can't be
Okay.
clutch.
The last 24 seconds.
All right,
Okay.
Final four, 24.
So one shot just defines the game.
0-7.
In 24 seconds.
And in the finals, final 10 seconds, 5, final 5 seconds, 0-4, a buzzer beater, which he only had one, so his games aren't even close. 0-1. A clutch player finishes those plays. You give Michael Jordan the ball, he finishes the play. You give LeBron the ball, he'll give it to someone else. When you're a clutch player, you don't do that. Not to mention multiple polls done by the
You don't
Athletic.
know ball, bro.
No one's
The Athletic.
no one's ever voted. His peers have never voted for him to be a top 5 clutch player in the NBA. How are you going to call him a clutch player if his peers don't even think so?
When did those Athletic polls start?
2-3 years ago.
How old was LeBron?
2-3 years ago, like, yo, this guy's asking the right questions though. He's actually low key like he's doing a pretty good job. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Bro, the nigga is 40, so yes, he's not a clutch. He's not as clutch as he once was at 37.
I
Yeah.
think that
Was he in his
it
prime?
comes from everyone.
Was he in his prime?
They put his teammates.
Was he in his prime? I don't believe so.
He just won a championship like 3 years ago.
Oh,
That was a make-
time's flying. That's like 5 seasons ago now. It's 4.
He's 37.
Irrelevant. Listen, 24 seconds is a lovely number when you're looking to find the exact number you needed to find no shots. If you expand to what clutch time actually is, the last 5 minutes when you're leading up to wins, obviously those numbers are going to be better. So, shout out finding the perfect number for the stat.
Could you give me a buzzer
Yeah, she's
beater or
hoeing.
a clutch shot that he has hit?
Again, the fact that we're saying clutch shots, like we had to have one single shot, isn't what clutch actually is. I can give you plenty of games in which he came up clutch in an elimination game, in which he had fourth quarter performances
Same.
were crazy. Obviously, Game 6 versus Boston is the one everyone talks about, where he came out and simply destroyed them. Obviously, 2016 Game 7 Finals, defensively and offensively, two-way performance. Trying to narrow it down to one shot in the last 10 seconds is just pushing it into a direction that isn't actually, showing what clutch is in basketball.
Y'all always moving the goalposts and moving the goal line.
Redefine that line of clutch.
You picked the line.
We had to redefine
You did.
it for him because he doesn't meet the overall standard of Michael Jordan. So
If you can pick a line, I can pick a line. So we can just go back and forth picking standards.
Do you think fans are cherry picking or haters are cherry picking stats right
Yes, they are, bro. They're moving the goal line and moving the goalposts while we're trying to kick the ball, bro. This shit is
We gotta
ridiculous.
do. I respect the game.
now? I do think people
I respect a good hater at heart.
people do forget that a block in the clutch is still a clutch play.
Okay, before I start, I just want to say
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
getting,
It's
like,
more than
really
just
hot
making a
in
buzzer
here.
beater,
Another
bro.
outfit change.
It's so hot, like you guys gotta put up the AC a little bit, you know. All these people are talking and all this stuff. I want to let you talk a little bit. Like, what's your definition of clutch?
Clutch is making the right plays, leading to efficient offense when it matters most. When the game is on the line, making the plays that'll decide you get a victory.
So, like, my definition of clutch is being the best in the brightest moments. You think that's fair?
I think that's a little. I think I would ask more specificity on when the brightest
Okay.
moments are, but that's about the same.
I would say in the playoffs, finals, you know, his 4-6 record.
Okay.
So,
Oh
what
my
about
God.
the Dallas Mavericks? Like, what do you think about that?
Okay, that was a
Terrible.
tough.
That's the biggest blight in his career.
Yeah.
And you got that.
Yeah,
I
that was
think
that was a
that's
tough
an
one.
Actual terrible mark.
That's the only one you could really
I
bring
won't
up.
pretend it's not. I just wouldn't pretend it's the end all be all. I wouldn't let somebody's career of any sort, any player, be defined by one bad week.
So you
I'm
would
gonna
say he
say
wasn't clutch enough.
Kobe's first time, that nigga was horrible.
So he's not clutch then.
If you only were alive for 2011, then sure.
Okay, so let's
But I had the privilege of continuing to live after that, so I
let's
wouldn't
also
say that.
talk about how we almost lost a rookie Jason Tatum.
How he
A
almost
sophomore.
lost.
Almost.
Yeah, almost lost.
But he didn't.
Game 7 though.
Almost
He won.
I think
lost.
a rookie Jason Tatum will average 14
That's
points.
I thought
irrelevant.
the game was about to win. He won the game.
Yeah, against a rookie Jason Tatum was that impressive.
That's irrelevant.
He did win, but
All that matters is winning. Am I right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all are
Next.
dangerously close.
Okay,
to
let's also
24
talk about the Kyrie
that
shot.
nonsense.
A game that he won.
Let's talk about the Kyrie shot.
The game that he won.
No, Kyrie won that game. Let's talk about Ray Allen.
Didn't he
won
have
that game.
40?
So that's like
1v12.
So that's like 2 rings right there.
Kyrie's
If
the GOAT
If they
then.
didn't make those shots, he would not have. He would have 2 rings.
If,
We wouldn't be here right now if Ray Allen and Kyrie ever didn't make
if
those
Kyrie
shots.
can beat the Golden State Warriors by himself, put him in the Hall of Fame today. You got it.
Oh, he's
a
definitely
GOAT.
going to the Hall of Fame. Come on.
He's definitely going to the Hall of
Okay,
Fame.
let's talk
But
about. Okay, so we would have 2 rings without 2 shots. Let's also talk about Kyle Kuzma, how we passed him the ball during the bubble to make that.
Let's talk
game-winning
about
shot.
Kyle Kuzma as a sentence I did not expect to hear.
yo, like we're talking about Kyle Kuzma in 2025, dog.
Tell me more about it.
But Kyle Kuzma made the last shot. I think it was in the bubble playoffs. He made
Good
the
for
last
him.
Shot.
Can you look me in the eye and tell me Kyle Kuzma is the reason they won the 2020 championship?
Kyle Kuzma is the reason why they
You're
won the
smiling your
2020
ass off.
championship.
Look at you grinning. Look at you grinning.
Yeah, bro, get him out of
Michael
here.
Jordan's way more clutch. Let's talk about the Jazz. Okay, the timer's up. Never mind. But yeah, Michael Jordan's more clutch.
Get this out of here, dog. That was horrible.
Kuzma threw me for a loop.
That was
Everything's
horrible.
going well.
All right, I'm a hater, but I wanted to show you some love. Hopefully, I can change your opinion. So I got you a gift.
Oh, let's go.
I'm done. That
LeBron
nigga's a
James is
cornball. I can tell.
responsible For the super team. Seems like a no-brainer to me.
Responsible
Let's go.
How is he not?
for the creating
We
of the
spoke about
super
it
team.
before.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
I want to say, are we sure this was the first ever super team
Okay,
though?
look,
Like,
well,
come on,
We pretend
man.
the Celtics didn't make a super team 2 years before he did. That's
Yeah,
one reason.
like, come on,
The real
man.
reason for the super team is because modern free agency promotes player movement. There's more talent today. You have to compile talent to win.
Exactly.
Back in the day, there was obviously less talent, like I said.
Less
and to
superstars.
win,
That's what I said.
I mean,
Like,
you didn't often see stars come together like that. In the modern NBA, when it's harder and harder to win, it simply became a necessity. Just because he was on the front lines of that and was the second team to do it in this era, doesn't mean he created it. He's not a GM, as most of the people want
Lee
to think.
GM.
He wasn't a
Lee
GM with the Miami Heat, I'll tell
GM.
you that for sure.
Y'all seen Luka just got traded. He didn't know.
No.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
come on
well,
now.
That's not reality. But either way, it's just a symptom of the modern NBA and the new rules that were created and the new just reality of how you win a game. And he wasn't the first, like I said. The Celtics, the Lakers got 2 Hall of Famers at the peak of their prime. Teams had, again, not the peak of their prime, the peak of the Lakers' prime. Those Hall of Famers are washed, obviously. But, it wasn't the first time we've seen lots of star names get put together.
You're talking about general managers making trades to go create teams. Kevin Garnett was traded to the Celtics. I think they just came together naturally. LeBron talks about.
Nah, they
recruiting
put that
players
shit
openly.
together.
He created the first ever super team, and what happened right after? Kevin Durant followed in suit. There's a lot of other superstars that are just following in suit for what LeBron started.
So the Celtics aren't a super team because they traded for Kevin Garnett and didn't sign him?
I don't know if they recruited players. LeBron himself said that he recruited Chris Bosh, and
What do
he
you mean
went.
they
They were
he spoke to
already
Dwayne Wade. He
there.
said that he spoke to Dwayne Wade, and they all were like, "Let's go to Miami."
As free agents should. That has little bearing on if the Celtics were a super team or not. Just because that super team was traded for rather than signed
Also, what
is
about
entirely
multiple
irrelevant.
super teams?
What about it?
The Lakers, he did the same thing multiple times. It's not a coincidence that he's the first person to start.
The Lakers were a super team, dude. Yo, watch your mouth, bro. Cause like, what are you even saying, bro? The Lakers were a super team with him and AD. So we're saying that any two good players that are put together is a super team then. So Jordan and Pippen was a super team then. Jordan and Pippen, Kobe and Shaq. Like,
One's called the
Are
Lakers
you
super
telling
team.
me? Are you telling me that Paul Pierce called up Kevin Garnett and Rondo, and they're like, "Well, let's all go to Boston and create a super
Probably.
team over there"? Isn't that the definition of
I
a
don't have
super
their
team?
phone logs, but I have
mean,
a
LeBron
feeling
said
that Paul
himself
Pierce
that
was
it's
involved in recruiting Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
That's not a novel idea.
I don't think so. I think they just traded a bunch of assets.
LeBron invented communication? I don't think so.
I don't think you
I think
Cap,
players talk
come on,
before
bro.
that.
Cap.
If he invented it, I think LeBron perfected it.
Probably.
Perfected it.
He's a hell of a
Draymond
recruiter.
Green was crying in the parking lot calling up Kevin Durant.
Not only is LeBron James responsible for the super team, he is responsible.
He's definitely lead
for the
GM to
detriment
some
of the
point.
NBA when we talk about player mobility.
Yeah, we're done with this guy, man. We're done with him, bro. I don't want to. We're done with this topic, and we're done with him. I really don't even want to hear him speak. He's horrible.
Should have an asterisk.
Just sit back down in your seat, bro. This guy, and this shouldn't even be a topic. No.
2020 is the worst finals team of all time. What do you say about that?
I definitely think they were trash compared to most finals teams. So
Definitely trash.
I wouldn't say the
Cap.
worst of all time because there's a lot of years out there.
Cap,
to make that
bro.
claim, but they weren't particularly strong.
So they had Jimmy Butler, who was what, a top 20 player, I would say, at the
No,
time.
just give him credit. He was playing
Come
like
on,
a top
Yo,
10
he was
He can't really
hooping.
score. I mean, he scored in the playoffs. He could defend a
He
little
was
bit. He
hooping.
can't really do anything much. Bam Adebayo, okay, he's a top 10 center, and out of that, was Tyler Hero even playing too?
He was.
He
That was?
was?
That was like
Yes,
a
he
strong
was.
stretch of his career.
A top 100.
Kyle Lowry was playing.
Anthony Davis was a top 10 player at the time. LeBron James, who was I'll say a top 5 player at the time, or
Yeah.
you could say 1, 2, whatever.
Yeah, he was definitely top 5. Yeah.
Versing a top 20 player, a top 100 player, and a top 50 player.
Yeah.
So that was that championship should not count at all.
So because the competition's weak, it
Yeah,
shouldn't count.
definitely.
I don't think this is a door you want to
Jordan
open.
had a verse.
I'll say that.
John Stockton, the top 5 point guard of all time. Karl Malone, the top 5 power forward of all time. You had a verse. Gary Payton, the best, probably one of the best guard defenders.
Bro, okay, but that's a whole different era though. Like if those players played now, like there's no telling like how that would look. You know what I'm saying? And if players played back then, there's no telling how that would look. But did the Nuggets not beat? I mean, did the Lakers not beat the Nuggets too though? Like we got Jokic, one of the best centers ever.
He had a verse.
I don't
He versed
ever.
Really good teams. And then he versed Jimmy Butler.
Jamal Murray was
Trash.
hooping.
I'm actually a bigger Jimmy Butler hater than freaking LeBron.
Dude, Jimmy Butler was going. You're tripping though. Jimmy Butler was going dumb.
He's never gonna win anything.
He was going
Hey,
dumb,
take off your
stew.
chest and go for it.
I'm not gonna lie. So LeBron had Anthony Davis top 10. LeBron James top 5 player.
Yeah.
How is that not an easy ring? How does that ring even count?
If your biggest point is that the 2020 ring deserves an asterisk because the championship was weak because the team he played
Because
is
the
weak,
finals team was weak.
we can do this with so many people. This is not a door
Not
Jordan
really.
fans should want to
I
go
want you- I
down.
want you to
Yeah,
think
no,
about
really.
Other teams who had weak finals.
Because the
appearances.
teams were worse.
So many. There's
The
so many.
2007
he can't name one
Spurs.
though. He can't
The Spurs
name a
beat the
specific
shitty
one.
Cavaliers.
Yeah, the Spurs beat the shitty Cavaliers. The Nuggets beat the Heat too. I guess we're gonna say
The
Jokic's ring doesn't count.
The Nuggets suck.
No.
They-
The Nuggets beat the Heat.
Were they a bad finals team?
Okay, who else did they have
Yeah,
though?
we're involved. I mean, that was absolutely
Who else did they
ridiculous.
have? They were
Alright,
they were
Every
shitty.
championship that's ever been won has been impressive,
Correct.
right?
Some
Including the bubble, right? But the bubble was probably to me the least impressive out of every championship that's ever been won, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, and I've
I mean,
seen
no
NBA
fans
players
definitely
come
plays
on
a part.
podcasts and talk about how the bubble was probably the hardest championship.
Yeah.
Because they all the environment that they were in or whatever. That sounds like some rich people like champagne problem shit. You know what I mean? They were in a Disney hotel and maybe they didn't have the best meals or maybe they didn't have this, that, or whatever. They were all chilling. They didn't have nothing to worry about outside of going to practice and playing PS5, Xbox in their room. That's it. That's all they had to do. They were all able to just lock in on basketball, which should make their job really, really easy. Now, because a lot of these guys are not as focused as a seasoned guy like LeBron James, these guys were, while it might have been the ideal scenario for LeBron James.
Whose fault is that?
A lot of these guys didn't have that. They were all worried about. Lou Will was out getting wings and women, you know what I mean, in Atlanta during the bubble. And
That's
then
Lou
not
Will,
to
man.
mention everybody else across the
Lou
league.
Wilski.
That's just one example. Everybody else was in there not unfocused, if we're being real, because it was that much harder to be able to lock in on what really mattered, which is basketball. LeBron James had the opportunity to be able to lock in the way that he did because he is LeBron James. He's able to do that, but nobody else was able to do that. So he had a cakewalk to the finals. And getting there and going up against a lowly team like Jimmy Butler, who we hate.
Yo, y'all gonna chill on my boy Jimmy though.
And going up against them,
Y'all not gonna do that. Y'all not gonna do that.
The least impressive NBA title.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get there, but once he was there, bro, it was a layup. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear NBA players complain about like the conditions that they had to play in and blah 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 blah. Yo, there are real people out there who went through a lot worse. You guys were playing basketball in Disney World. Cut it out.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, you said LeBron was able to deal with that because he's LeBron and other people aren't like that.
Yeah.
You brush that aside like it's just like, yeah, he's LeBron, like it's not impressive.
That's his fault.
Yeah, I mean,
He's him.
He was
So,
36 when this happened.
That's his fault.
There's some old motherfuckers on all those teams who collapsed.
Yeah, I know, but they're not the star player. LeBron James was able to set the tone for his team. Which
Is
I
that
feel
his
like
fault
I'm
that they
giving him
weren't
credit
locked
for it.
in?
You are.
No, and that's okay though. That's
That's
okay.
my point.
No, that's okay. I'm giving him credit for that, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it was like the most impressive thing that he's ever done.
I
He
didn't say it
able
was 2016, but he's built for tough environments, and he brought that to his
But
team.
but that's the thing. That tough environment that you're talking about, like, oh, imagine locking in a fucking gym, going head to head with somebody. Yeah, bro, it's called practice. You know what I'm saying?
Are
Like,
you-
everyone locks in the gym. We was watching Lil Wayne taking phantom puffs on the blunt from his crib. Nobody was in there watching the game.
Are
man.
you-
They were playing practice with
Are
one
you
another.
familiar with my sweet prince, Dom Toretto?
Of course.
Family is everything.
Yeah.
They couldn't see their family. Are you gonna look me in the eye? Are you gonna look in this camera, and are you gonna tell the people that LeBron James' family doesn't matter?
LeBron James' family does matter.
I thought he was about. I swear, I thought he was about to say it. Shit don't
Does
matter.
Kawhi Leonard's family matter?
I don't know. He needs to get on the court. But last thing I'm gonna say.
Yo, chill on
last thing I'm gonna
Kawhi,
say
yo.
is,
He
like,
he had a
you
rough
are lying
life,
to
bro.
everyone in this room, if you think that LeBron James' accommodations were the same as everybody else, miss me with that shit.
His hotel was very nice.
Okay, so I don't want to talk about mental fortitude, toughness, or family. I just want to talk about the point of an asterisk.
Here it
Usually in sports, that's indicative of something being out of the norm. Were there 82 regular season games played that season?
There was not.
Was every team invited to the bubble?
Nope.
Okay,
The ones who didn't qualify, obviously. It was based on merit, not randomness. But keep going.
Exactly, right? So we can already establish, and we both agree, that this season was out of the norm for the entire NBA and it's
For sure.
and over
For
the
the
course
world.
of history.
Yeah.
Therefore, there must be an asterisk, right? The bubble was not a normal NBA regular season. They didn't play the same amount of games. They didn't play every team twice. They didn't play the teams in their conference or division the amount of times they were supposed to either. Therefore, the road that he used to get to the finals was out of the norm. Therefore, you have to have an asterisk so that people who view this 10, 20, 30 years from now are aware of the conditions that he faced, because they weren't the same that every other team had to face
For
in
sure.
all the other years.
Yeah. And if you want to argue for the Webster's Dictionary definition of an asterisk, then go for it. You're right. It is inherently different by all standards of the world at the time. What we're arguing for in practicality, what people besides you mean when they say an asterisk, they mean it's less impressive. They mean it's lesser than. They mean it's compared to any Jordan championship, it's worse. And that's the part where it becomes, who's to say what's harder and what's weaker and what's harder about it and what's easier about it? I not have a problem with you saying it's different. That's undeniable. But when we get to the point of people downplaying it and saying it's not impressive because there was no parade and because they were at home watching and all this stuff, then I'm like, what are we talking about?
So therefore, in my argument, say it again, I'm right.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, okay, bro. This
You're
guy.
right in a way that helps my side.
LeBron having a losing record in the finals does not affect his legacy.
Well, I already told you this once. I'll do it again, right? If those two do not hit those three-point shots, LeBron walks away with 2 rings. He doesn't go to the Game 7 against the Spurs, and then the Warriors probably will make a play and they end up winning, right? I think
God.
that's very clear. LeBron James
I doubt it.
owes his career and his standing as one of the greatest
He owes
players of all time to those two gentlemen.
He
If they
owes
weren't
his
as
career
clutch as they
to
were,
Ray
if they
Allen and
weren't willing to take
Kyrie.
those shots,
Oh my god.
he doesn't finish the same way, and I don't think he'll be wearing that Lakers jersey.
Yeah. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. We can do this with a lot of things. If the Bulls didn't select Scottie Pippen and they select the next pick, Who knows when his championship window opens? If the Pistons never age out of their championship window, who knows when his championship starts? We can do this with so many things. Neither here nor there. The shots went in. So many plays led up to that point where LeBron James put them in the position to decide the game. You have to empower
Exactly,
your
bro.
teammates. You
Fuck
have to
out of
play
here with
a
that
team
last
game
shot
and help
bullshit.
that the
And here
team
she
around
go
you
over
is
here with
good
this
enough
paper
to match
again.
your
Don't
level.
come over here
I'm
with
not
that
doing this.
bullshit, man.
Good. I will not downplay the contributions of Kyrie Irving, downplay the contributions of Ray Allen, because they don't take away from LeBron James. Those games do not come down to one play. Like I said earlier, if Kyrie Irving was good enough to beat the Golden State Warriors by himself and decide the game by himself, make him the GOAT today, because that's the greatest team of all time that he single-handedly took down, apparently.
It wasn't just Kyrie, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
It
It's
was
a team
also
game.
the NBA commissioner. he helped a bit.
There we go.
But those
Oh, here we
Draymond Green
go.
being a moron. Let's go.
Hey, listen, man. Dre makes some mistakes, but we're gonna forgive him, right?
Okay.
He likes to punch, he likes to kick. Everybody has problems, but we gotta keep it real. You have to be authentic, right?
Yeah.
I know you're a super fan, and I'm a hater. I'm not a super hater, but I can hate when it's time. You know that if those
That's
two
spoken like a
shots
true
don't go
hater.
in, LeBron James, the discourse that we're having is completely different, and it's not really shoulda, coulda, woulda. We literally watched it. And
Yeah, we watched it.
the
But
next
shoulda,
quarter,
coulda, woulda, though. The
on every
shots
single
went in,
play
so
show,
what are we talking
clip
about?
was being shown. We did see the block, but the most important clip of the night is the shot, right? Yeah,
We did see the block.
We did see the block,
You like to
but-
slide things in like they're irrelevant. The block is just as iconic.
I didn't call it if it was irrelevant, I wouldn't have mentioned it.
Okay, fair
But
enough. Fair enough.
it was important. But the
Equally so.
block didn't win the game. The shot wins the game. Chris Bosh chipping the ball out to Ray Allen, that's the play that won the game. So he owes a lot to a lot of people, right? When it came down to those two biggest
So
moments,
nobody helped Jordan.
LeBron James
Okay.
relied on the players who were ready to take the shot. And that's it.
Everybody owes a lot to all their teammates. I think it is a quintessential Jordan fan thing to act like that's a downside. When in reality, it's the whole system. It's a team-based game. To pretend otherwise is to not live in reality. And I think any rational fan should realize that nobody does it alone. And to even entertain the argument as if we should pretend that LeBron did it alone is just missing the forest for the trees.
All right, so let's revisit.
Great. He's great. Doing great debating right now.
Yeah, well, I gotta quote something.
Okay. Okay.
I want you to tell me what you see in common in those two shots on the play call. You ready? So for the Ray Allen three, rebound Bosh, back to Allen, his 3-pointer, bang. Okay. Second one, Irving and Curry, 1-on-1. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. What do you see in common in those two calls?
Mike Breen.
No
But
cap.
They don't have your
W.
GOAT's
Breen.
name in it.
Oh, that's a
How
good
does
one.
that affect his legacy?
Does Mike Breen
He's
hate
not
LeBron?
in the two most important moments of two of his rings.
You know what
So
else?
how does it affect his career?
You know what else?
How does it
Horrible
affect his
argument.
legacy? It means he's a loser.
Whenever he got the block, Mike Breen didn't say block by LeBron. He said block by James. He diminished him by not saying his main name. We might have to expose Mike Breen.
You better.
No
you better
cap.
take that
Mike
out.
Breen hating on
Mike Breen
Brown
is
is
good,
crazy.
I'm not Mike Breen, but here's what I can tell you. LeBron raised a generation of losers. Okay.
What
You
the
wouldn't correct-
fuck is you talking about? That's it for you. Your time is up.
LeBron is the GOAT.
Your time
Men
is up
lie.
as soon as you said that.
Woman lie. Numbers don't. Michael Jordan has a better PER than LeBron James. He has a higher offensive and defensive box plus minus.
Okay.
He has a better win share per 48.
Okay.
So, Michael Jordan is more efficient, better at offense, better at defense, and contributes to winning more. So, how would he be better? Tell
Ooh.
me.
Well, I don't know how many of those are true. I didn't write down a bunch of numbers for this.
It's true. Trust me, it's true.
He's not more efficient. True shooting percentage for all their prime years. LeBron's better.
I'll give that to you.
Leading teams to higher offensive ratings or on-off numbers. If you want to get in the nerdy numbers game, this is
I
not.
did,
This is not a game you want to go down.
I did.
LeBron has a higher on-off number of how he impacts offense and defense. His on-off swing is higher than Jordan's. I don't know about their. team
Yeah,
offense.
get on his ass. Get on his
I can
ass.
do that. I don't know if that's true. Are you looking at career offensive block plus minus and defensive?
I'm looking at career everything.
Mm.
I'm a
That's your
nerd.
problem.
I'm a
You're
nerd
looking at
right
career.
now.
If you look at their prime years, which is what everyone gauges whenever they're talking about the peak of people's,
Yeah.
LeBron's are typically better. So, if you look at all the relevant years only, LeBron's are better. We go on the stats. LeBron leads in far more advanced stats than Jordan does. Obviously, all the playmaking stats, a lot of defensive impact stats, he leads. obviously Jordan is great too. He has his steals and stuff, and that's what contributes to a defensive box plus minus.
Yeah.
But how you really gauge a good defender with modern analytics is looking at their team defensive ratings on and off the court, and LeBron has good ones.
Okay,
Obviously.
all I heard was blah blah blah. Okay, so let me talk to you like a fifth grader.
So
now.
how you gonna hate on his
He
numbers?
has-
But you just brought up
he has
his
more
number.
championships. He's 6-0. LeBron's 4-6, right?
He is
He has the defensive player of the year. I don't know how many does LeBron have? Just like-
0. Shout out Marcus All.
Oh, 0. Okay, yeah. Shout out Marcus Hall. How
Yeah, they
many
hold
does
Bron for a
defensive,
lot of shit.
First teams?
Yeah, how many does?
I don't remember. He has. Yeah.
Well,
He has
I
some.
think Jordan has more though.
He probably does.
So he's a better defender, you would say.
Nope.
How is he not a better defender if he has a defensive player of the year? And
Let's talk
has
about.
more
This is a
defensive-
fun one. Let's talk about the merits of defensive NBA award voting over the years.
Okay. Let's bring up the Marcus Hall thing. Okay,
No,
let's bring it up again.
fuck Marcus Hall.
Let's talk about it again. We get it. Okay, second team. Okay, we got it.
In the 1990s, do you know who voted for NBA defensive awards?
No idea. Tell me.
Journalists.
Okay.
Do you know how many journalists had access to watching 82 games a year of all 30 teams?
Probably
0. Defensive voting back then was just who had more steals, who had more blocks. Kobe Bryant got like 8 all defensive teams in the latter half of his career when he wasn't defending a fucking thing. For historically, defensive award voting has been terrible until the last like 6 years. So, good. Jordan was a great defender for his time. If LeBron was back there, he would have had 13 in a row because they would have been like, ooh, big guy block shot.
Yeah. So you're saying
Facts.
like voting
2 different eras.
Wrap it up. One
Yeah, no, he got you up out of there. He got you up out of there. He got you.
All I heard is you don't trust voting for the NBA, which okay, that's your opinion. And then let's just end it off with a bang. Michael Jordan is a better scorer. He's better at offense. He's better at defense. That's it.
I'm a person of many words.
'Kay.
I only have a handful for you. It's about the rings.
That's
Thank
3 of
you.
them.
Thank you.
4 rings actually.
You know how many Jordan has?
Yo, get him out of
More
here,
than that.
man.
6.
Quick math.
Get this
Yeah,
man
yeah.
out of here, bro.
How many does yours have?
That many. Less than 6. Woo!
Subtraction. Bada bing, bada boom, baby.
All right, so Bill Russell's the GOAT.
How is your GOAT going to get clapped and clamped up by Herb Jones, first team all defense? Thank you.
Wow.
All right.
Bill Russell's the
I'm gonna
GOAT.
state my truth real quick, and then you can have the table.
According to all these people, Bill
I
Russell's the
wanna
GOAT.
quote A famous, a top point guard. Okay, John Stockton sums up how I feel about LeBron. You're not climbing the mountain. You're taking a helicopter to the top, and that is how I feel about LeBron James. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why he's not the GOAT.
Okay.
Okay.
Citing John Stockton is crazy of all people, but go ahead.
I mean,
Yeah, low key.
5-point guard of all time.
Noted
but anyone-
non-truth teller. But neither here nor there.
Anyone who has to tell the media they're the GOAT, not the GOAT.
Ooh.
You find a clip of Michael Jordan saying he's the GOAT to the media, I'm all ears. But you won't.
I'm pretty sure he did. What did the dude come up to him with the camera like, "Are you the greatest player of all time?" The dude was like, "Of course."
Dude that does
Some shit like that. I don't know, bro.
crowning himself in a camera multiple times.
Aura.
Not. That's the opposite of aura. That's a cringe. That's a
He's
thing.
the king, bro. They crowned him as the king.
But then.
Would you want to date LeBron?
So
LeBron's most famous thing he ever done actually doesn't have to do with basketball. It's just a quote saying, "Cleveland, this is for you." That's what people think of when they think of LeBron.
no, it's
Okay.
not.
2 of LeBron's.
They
4
definitely
rings
think of him blocking the shot of the
have been
glass, but go
short
off.
NBA seasons, a lockout and a bubble. So you only have really 2 legit ones, right? So let me tell you now. Let me tell you now why Michael Jordan is the real GOAT, okay? Michael Jordan eliminated 20 Hall of Famers. Meanwhile, you have LeBron playing with 26.
Sorry ass
MJ faced 7
niggas.
of the top 10 all-time scorers. 9 of the top 10 shot blockers. 7 of the top 10 all-time assist leader. 8 of the top 10 all-time steals leader, right? So for anyone who's like the 90s wasn't good basketball, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
He also prevented many NBA legends from winning the ring. Opposed to LeBron, who Steph Curry and the Spurs won during his time. And then Michael Jordan is the only player to win a regular season MVP, NBA Finals MVP, first team All NBA, first team All Defense, scoring title, lead the playoffs in scoring. No one else has done that. Michael Jordan's done it 4 times. 4 times. And we could go through the other stats.
Oh, we're doing ESPN
Everyone
stats now.
knows it's just 6-0 in
this is
the
a great Wikipedia
finals.
article, by the way.
Here's the last thing I'm gonna say. In 13 full seasons,
Yeah, looking up your
Michael Jordan
argument is
played.
crazy.
He has 6 rings, 6 finals.
ChatGPT.
5
The
league
argument is
MVPs, 10
wild.
scoring titles, 1 defensive player of the year, 9 all defensive first teams. And if you put KD and LeBron's careers combined, this is what you get in 38 seasons: 6 rings, 6 Finals MVPs, 5 league MVPs, 5 scoring titles, 0 Defensive Players of the Year.
You put together Kevin Durant and LeBron James. So now you're hand picking, like you're cherry picking, like
That was
this.
a wonderfully well-researched essay. Which part do you want me to respond to? Because that was 1,000 things.
Numbers don't lie. I mean, I'm just going based off stats, and that's all you really need for this argument.
So the cumulative stat thing is irrelevant because, of course, he went against people that are high on the list because their careers are over. Many of the people that LeBron has gone against are still going.
Exactly.
People are going to be up there eventually, but
It's
their
like,
careers
what
are
the
still
fuck?
going on. So that, irrelevant. Other people won during LeBron's career. Great. Do you think if Jordan didn't retire, he'd win 8 straight?
I think he got bored, so he retired.
Do you think we would have won 8 straight?
Yeah.
Great. I don't think anybody's winning 8 straight championships. So, congrats, he was able to go take a break. We pretend he didn't play in 1995 for some reason. I guess neither here nor there that he lost in the playoffs to, the peak of his powers, to Shaq and Penny. So, Hakeem won on his watch, apparently, for doing that. Shout out Hakeem Olajuwon for being the only guy to win on Michael Jordan's watch. You can do this game forever. It's all contextual. If you want to spout,
He's got the good facts, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta let him cook.
If you want to apply a little bit of logic to it, we can understand that the best team wins an NBA championship. Jordan was on the best team because he was part of it. That's true. But also, he was in the right team environment that LeBron was never gifted with early in his career. He never got to be with a good GM that could do his job, so he had to go out and do that.
Exactly, bro. He was out there relying on Mo Williams.
If he drafted another Hall of Famer who was 3rd in MVP without Jordan, then I think LeBron would have had a pretty good chance of winning at home too. But he was never gifted that opportunity because he was drafted to an incompetent organization. So I would not pretend it's embarrassing to change teams when that's what the league requires of you to win. Because as you say, he should prioritize winning like the real winner from the 90s did.
Who is that number that LeBron wears?
Who is it? Oh, his number?
How are you gonna call that man the GOAT who looks up to the real one?
Listen, anybody smart respects their elders and understands where they came from. To think that you can't respect who came before you doesn't mean you can't pass them up.
All I'm saying
Good facts, bro. He's cooking right now. He's 2-0. I ain't gonna lie. He's 2-0 or 3-0. He cooked this dude.
You got to play a lot of
He cooked
defense,
her.
right?
This guy is low key good. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
argument why LeBron James is the GOAT because I didn't hear it in the other responses.
Okay. I think first of all, I think he's the best player of all time. You look at peak longevity too. I know the longevity argument is an easy one. It matters. It's not the end all be all to me. I do think peak matters just as much, if not more. So we'll say that up front. He's this good this late. That adds something to it. But what really matters is how good you are at the best version of yourself. And at the best version of himself, he is the best mix in NBA history of scoring, passing, defense, making people around you better while being the guy that can lead your team to the highest level.
Facts.
Not Magic Johnson as a passer because Magic Johnson's the best passer of all time, but he's close. He's in that realm. And very close, if not even, with Jordan as a scorer. Whatever metrics you want to decide, they are clearly probably the 2 greatest scorers of all time with Shaq, Kareem, whoever else.
Kobe.
Combining those 2 things is something very few players have done in NBA history. Only other players who are arguably the best passer and best scorer in the NBA at the same time is maybe Larry Bird, maybe Nikola Jokic now, and like regular season.
Maybe Nikola. Nikola Jokic is gonna go down as one of the greatest passers to ever play.
Couldn't translate into the playoffs. And Larry Bird, if you want to put him in the GOAT argument, go ahead. All these things talk about the full package of a player. LeBron's the only one that checks all those boxes. Regular season, playoffs, passing, scoring, defense, rebounding, all of it. There's really no flaw. You can nitpick on certain outcomes of games that are going to diminish a legacy. Great. Nobody's legacy is decided by their worst moments or their best. It's cumulative, what you did over your whole career, 3, 4, 5-year peak, whichever you want to recognize. He is the full well-rounded package. And while obviously he doesn't have 6 rings, he has 4. You can go back and forth on if you think 6 or 4. Obviously 6 is more. If you think that's the end-all be-all, fine. I like to think contextually, and I realize that there's a lot more factors other than these 2 guys and what they did that contribute to those ring counts for the teams they played for.
Exactly.
So, individual accolades, obviously LeBron.
And Bill Russell is the GOAT if we're talking rings. So come on, man.
You weigh skill, individual accolade, team accolade. LeBron has 2, Jordan has 1. Nitpicking, I'm going to go with the guy who's simply the better player all around because I think the accolades are close enough that they're in the same realm. And in some ways, I value individual accolades more.
Okay. I agree with some of the things you said. We get the basis of your argument, but what I don't agree with is the player you decide is the GOAT based on those things.
Okay.
So you said we're looking at players at their peak. At Michael Jordan's peak, he was Defensive Player of the Year. He was MVP of the regular season. He was Finals MVP, and he 3-peated.
Yeah.
That means that at the peak of his power, there was no player in the NBA who could touch him offensively, defensively, or what he was able to bring his team to. At the peak of LeBron James' powers, whether you want to start with the Miami Heat and then go into the Cleveland years in 2016, he was never able to three-peat, right? He was never able to be the best offensive and defensive player in the NBA. He has never done that.
I don't think
So
Jordan
we'll
was
talk
the
about your
best
definition
defensive
of what
player
the
in the
greatest
NBA,
player
though.
is. Your definition more fits Michael Jordan than it does LeBron James. When you talk about the all-around game and you talk about, LeBron might be is a better passer than Michael Jordan. He is a better passer than Michael Jordan because that's
No
this is
AI
who
was
will.
working his
But when
motherfucking
Michael
ass.
Jordan needed to make the right play and the right pass, what did he do in the NBA Finals? He passed it to the guys to make the big shot, whether that's John Paxson or Steve Kerr. So when it came down to being the more skilled player, Jordan possessed all those skills. And Jordan actually is probably a little bit less athletic than LeBron is, but he was still able to match that peak over the years. He was untouchable. I don't think there's ever a point in LeBron James' career at his peak where you could say he's untouchable because he was, in a lot of the years he won NBA Finals, he wasn't even favored. He was the underdog. So that means Vegas agrees that he is not the most feared or the best player, and he really
It's a
wasn't able to
team
elevate
game,
his
though, and I feel like you're missing that
year-over-year, which is one
aspect.
of the reasons why
You're
he's
talking about how the
conversation.
team was not
Okay,
favored.
So the only difference between him not having that DPOY Finals MVP thing is he happened to be 2 votes behind Marc Gasol. If your metric of somebody being eliminated from this convo is because 2 people decided to vote Marc Gasol, then I guess you got it. I guess that's the blemish on his career. He never won DPOY. Sorry, he was second. Still first team all defense. Still the best player at his position defensively in the entire NBA. Somebody just decided they want to go for a center more because center's more impactful, which they should have did in the 90s too, but people were less smart back then, had less years of discourse to realize that, centers impact defense more. People didn't know at the time, but over time, people understood more about the game, and now that's why you see bigs win. If Jordan played today, he wouldn't be racking up DPOYs. I'm sorry. That's a just clear reality. Outside of that,
Exactly, bro.
you
Come
mentioned
on,
that he wasn't
man.
favored to win. Like it's a blemish against LeBron. Like Vegas saw LeBron and was like, I don't think you got it. He happened to go against the single most successful regular season team of all time. If any other team went against that team, they probably wouldn't be favored either. So I'm not going to pretend that it's a negative that he won as underdog. If anything, I think that's a positive because he was able to win when his team was simply inferior, as the best players should do. And that's the time.
He also wasn't favored against Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, who were both under the age of 25, right? Because that's because they felt that the Thunder team was better. So although he did prevail,
It's a
he wasn't
team
favored, which
game.
wasn't really
Your
the best
team
player
cannot,
offensively,
bro. Your
defensively,
team
and
could
that
be
he was
not
able
that
to
good,
bring his team to
and
that height.
you're
Because
just
they recognized
you're
that
just
it was a
that
team that
good.
came up
LeBron's
from the
just
block
that
and was
good.
still gelling together.
The
Because
Cavs just
contrary to popular
they weren't
belief,
it, bro.
You sign stars, you don't immediately become a great team. Plenty of super teams have failed. They had to prove it, and they did.
And another thing when you talk about offensive and defensive players, it's not just about the vote. When you look back at these careers, let's look at 1998. That's a play where Jordan makes the steal, and then he goes down and makes a shot. When we talked about LeBron moment, he made the defensive play, but on the offensive end, he came up short.
We're still
Alright,
bringing
He
that up.
only had 40 points that game. Oh no.
That's it. That does it for the debate.
Yeah.
Portion. Clap it up. Clap it up.
He only had 40 points. Oh no. Oh
How do you
no.
think you did?
As best as I could getting jumped, I guess.
He did, bro. He was
How
hooping.
do you think you did?
He did good.
As best as I could getting jumped.
He
I
was
guess.
hooping, bro. I think he
Good
won.
strategy. Not a lot of offense being played.
How could I?
Who do you think was the most convincing?
The most convincing?
Who put up
The Jimmy Butler guy. The one who
Okay,
hated Jimmy Butler.
guy.
How could I argue that?
All right, haters. If any of you were convinced enough to become a fan, now is the time to please raise your hand. Jimmy? All right, that'll do it for the first episode of 1 vs. 10. Please let us know what topic you want to see debated next.
I think it should be Jimmy Butler.
We got to get back to the drawing board.
A dude that does this.
I think bro was hooping. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He low key balled out. Like he did his thing. I feel like, you know what I'm saying. It's just tough. You know what I'm saying? Cause like it's like they bring up the same arguments each time, but they always move the goalposts and move the goal line. So we can't even push into the end zone. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro. That's gonna do it for this. This was a long video, bro. I almost fell asleep towards the end. But appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace.